Hey Waffle Gang, I do hope you're well. My name is Mark and today we're checking out some more Reddit stories, and if you do love a Reddit story, why not consider hitting that like, subscribe, maybe that notification bell too. Let's crack on with today's first story. Much love, guys. Now today's first story comes from the Am I the A-hole subreddit from PrizeAd3917 and says, am I the arsehole for asking my fiance to skip this year's Christmas family vacation because our baby is due? Context: I've gone to Florida with his family for the past 5 years for at least part of Christmas. Every other year I return before him to spend Christmas Day with my family. This year is the first time in a long time that all the other siblings are able to overlap dates. My fiance has major fear of missing out, which is why this is a sensitive subject. His parents have always been weird about keeping their family close. They've never said it outright, but little things suggest they don't consider me completely part of their family yet since we aren't married. Also, my parents are away overseas dealing with a grandparent emergency. My mom has been kept in the loop though, and is trying to come back as soon as she can. My fiance and I, 31 male and 31 female, are expecting our first baby due December 30th. His family has a vacation home in Florida and they have gone every year during the holidays for about a month until after New Year. He agreed not to go this year because of the baby, but his family is insisting that he go and come back on the 28th, which is ample time before the baby is due. So he bought a ticket for December 15th to the 28th. His reasoning is that his parents really want him there and his siblings will also be going. This is bothering me a lot. More than I thought, because I know pregnancies are unpredictable, especially in the last trimester, and if anything happens leading up to the due date, I need him there. My parents are away until December 26th, and my parents have their families, so I will be completely alone. The other reason, and I guess it's more selfish, is that I will be spending Christmas by myself. It's not the main reason why I'm bothered, but it's a small part of it. He's spending Christmas every year in Florida since he was 15, and there will be many more trips after the baby is born. I don't know why he has to go this year. Anytime I bring it up, it results in a very uncomfortable fight about my expectations to put me first rather than his parents. I don't even bring it up anymore. His parents have always been kind to me, but they also don't see a problem, so I think I'm going crazy. Am I the arsehole here? Wow, I wasn't expecting this many responses. I can't personally thank all of you, but thank you all so much. All your support and responses mean a lot, and I definitely plan on showing this thread to him. And there's a relevant comment which gives some deeper context that says deeper context is that there was a major conflict between him and his sister-in-law last year that ruined the vacation and drove a wedge between him and his siblings. They left us out of major events, trips, etc., and they only started repairing their relationship a couple of months ago. While they are trying to fix things, they have left me out of it. They said it's a sibling matter. So I understand to a degree why he and his parents feels this trip is important to fixing his relationship with his family, but it definitely is the worst time for it. It's a sensitive topic. Absolutely not the arsehole in this situation. Of course you want your fiance to skip this year's Christmas when you're so close to your due date. I personally know people who's had a prem baby that was 5 weeks before, and it can literally happen at any moment. And the fact that he can't see this is concerning, and that his family is saying, oh no, that they understand the situation and they're not saying to him, no, you should absolutely be staying home and looking after your fiance in this. And not just the baby as well, but willing to leave you alone for Christmas in itself is absolutely heartbreaking. Couldn't imagine doing that to a partner. But good representative 33 says not the arsehole. Your husband is a fool if he goes. This is your first baby. You do not know if the baby will be here early, on time or late. His family is you and the baby. If his family can't see that, that's another issue. None of them have a crystal ball and know when that baby is coming. Personally, I would also be pointing out how quickly things can go wrong for mum or bubs during labour. I am actually disgusted with him for thinking this is okay to leave his vulnerable wife during that time. You just don't know what is going to happen. And what's with not wanting to spend Christmas with you? Leaving you completely alone. Not cool. I'm furious for you. Where are you? I will come and take care of you. Lovely one says, are you kidding me? They're all leaving a pregnant woman alone on the holidays at the absolute end of her pregnancy. This is not appropriate behavior for your fiance, your partner, the father of this child. For fuck's sake, not the arsehole. ETA, oh my god, I'm so ticked off for you. This is not loving, caring behavior. Angel of Soul 80 says not the arsehole. He is showing you where his priorities lie, and sadly, they are not with you. Believe him. Right now, he should be putting you and his unborn child well before his parents. While his parents have always been kind, look at what they are doing now with insisting he come. You are not his priority, nor are they looking out for your health and well-being as you carry their grandchild. Make your plans now on how you will get to the hospital birthing center if the baby comes early. That should be your first priority. After that's done, please evaluate your relationship and seriously decide if this is what you want your future to be, and the future of your child. If you decide it isn't, then start to figure out your exit, even if he does make it back before the baby comes. I'm so sorry you're having to deal with this right now. The stress of it all has got to be immense and not something you should be subjected to right now. Lily Lovegood says, come on now. I know you don't actually think you are the crazy one. Please tell your friends and mother this and see what they have to say. Also, your mother-in-law is asking her son to be away from his very pregnant wife. Ask your mother-in-law about her births and tell her that you're scared of being alone and see what she says. Then you will have a better understanding of how kind they are. If she brushes your fears aside, you don't want your baby around that family. If she tells you she didn't ask her son to go, then you know your man is lying. Also, a whole family can take a month off work. Edit, because I have questions. How long have you been engaged? Have you ever been to Florida for Christmas? And one more comment from No Trifle who says, my friend's husband went out of town 2 weeks before their baby was born and she went into labor while he was gone. He raced to the airport and got on the soonest flight possible and missed the birth. Thankfully, her family lives in town and was with her. Due dates are just an approximation of when the baby will come. Being out of town until 2 days before the due date is idiotic. Not the arsehole at all, and you aren't wrong for feeling sad that you are being left alone on Christmas either. I would take your husband with you to your next OB appointment, or make an appointment if you didn't have one already set up. Ask your OB how likely it is that he may miss the birth if he leaves. Around 5 days later, OP updates the post and says, I'm sorry for not updating sooner. Everything has been overwhelming and I'm trying to deal with a lot. The good news is that my mum arrived home yesterday. When I explained everything to her, her sister, who is a retired nurse, insisted she come too. I'm so thankful to have them here. It's hard to get my feelings across as there's a bit of a cultural barrier. My mum is from Hong Kong, and without getting into details, the grandparent situation was very much an emergency. But she has siblings and my dad who is staying there at the moment. As for my fiance, I scheduled a virtual appointment with him and my Obgyn to update her and told her this whole situation. Like all of you, she was appalled and strongly recommended he not travel during this time. Her words were, in my professional opinion, I'm going to very strongly recommend you reconsider your plans. In my personal opinion, I'm going to insist it. It was probably on me for not alerting her sooner, re his travel plans. After that, he is still going but adjusting his date, so he'll be back on the 22nd. There will be a 1-day overlap with his siblings. His mum isn't too happy he won't be there for Christmas. She suggested he fly back later on the 25th instead so he can spend part of Christmas Day with them, but he said no. It's not ideal for me. It's still not ideal for me. My mum and aunt has insisted to speak with his parents, so we scheduled a call with them later today. I reached out to my best friend too about this after I read some of your responses and PMs. She was livid and informed her husband that she doesn't care if it's on Christmas Day. If I go into labor, she will drop everything and be there. She's also being kept up to date about who will be with me while he is away and will be visiting. I know there were a lot of questions regarding the family, but I can't address all of them. It's too much to write out. Yes, I know they don't treat me completely as family. There have always been small passive-aggressive things that bothered me. Not invited to Mother's/Father's Day events, left out of family Secret Santa, not being allowed to sleep in the same room when we visit, etc. Yes, I know that his mother must be aware that he shouldn't be leaving me at 37 weeks. She's not dumb, and I update her after all my appointments, so I know she knows this too. I don't know why she's saying it's okay, but I have an idea why. My mum has made it clear she will be addressing all of this in the call. Some of you wondered how they can afford to go to Florida for a month. His parents are retired and snowbird there. His siblings and sister-in-law all have 9-to-5 jobs that are partly remote, so they are lucky enough to take their work to Florida and work there. My fiance is a gig worker, so he dictates his own schedule. Obviously, their schedules don't always align. I haven't shown him this thread yet. At the moment, it's just one more thing I don't want to deal with him. I may in the future, but I have suggested we go to therapy before we set a wedding date. He agreed. I'm also seeking counseling for myself. Lastly, I'm incredibly grateful to all of you who took the time to respond, offered to visit me and bring me food. I have never posted on Reddit before, but I appreciate the support you've all shown me. Once again, thank you all so much. I'll try to update again after the baby comes. It might be a while, but please know that I am safe and have a lot of love surrounding me. Please have a safe and happy holidays. Also, I'm expecting a girl. And I really want to know how that phone call goes, because this one still left me feeling really sad and worried for Opie at the same time. The fact that he's still going, I think it makes very little difference in that time frame where he's gone from Christmas to, what was it, the 23rd or something? Or the 22nd? You know, it could happen at any point. And the fact that the family isn't inviting her to the Christmas in itself is just a huge red flag for me. He's going along with it as well and doesn't seem to see any issue with it. And it just feels like Opie is not being treated as part of the family, and that's incredibly sad. And I'm really pissed off for Opie, to be quite honest. But, dearie me. What do you guys make of this situation? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. And let's move on to another story. And our next story comes from Professional SA610 and says, am I the arsehole for telling my 21 female family that my partner 21 male forced me to do a paternity test? My partner and I have been together for over 4 years. Now have recently gave birth to our daughter. We had kept the pregnancy to ourselves, but our baby was born happy and healthy due to worries about complications as I faced a high-risk pregnancy. We told our families after she was born. While my family was ecstatic, his was questioning if we hid for ulterior reasons. They've always heavily disliked me and believe I'm just with their son for money. Yesterday we took her to meet her grandparents from his side, and after some polite conversation, they dropped the bomb that they would be doing a paternity test that he agreed to. To not make myself look suspicious, I agreed to it, but afterwards made it clear to my partner that I felt incredibly disrespected. He had an argument where he told me it wasn't a big deal if it was his, and that the test was requested for by them to ease their uncertainty. Fast forward to today. I was having lunch with my mother and told her about the incident, which left her pissed off and calling my partner a couple of names for insinuating I could have cheated. My mother ended up telling my grandparents, who in a rage told him they would no longer accept him in their house for disrespecting me in such a way when the child is practically his twin. We had another argument about it and he screamed saying I ruined his image by telling them. Am I the arsehole? Edit. Some of you are concerned about the hiding my pregnancy part, so to clarify, my partner and I live a couple of hours away from our family since we live by his university and typically only see each other on holidays and special events. On top of that, I have a very petite figure and had a rather small bum up until I gave birth, so I was hardly showing as is, which made hiding it a lot easier. Hiding it was a personal choice as I faced horrible anxiety due to constant bleeds throughout my pregnancy, which made me fear the worst. And we're starting the comments with Danivel, who says he didn't care how she looked to his family, so why should she care how he looks to hers? Personally, someone asking this of my daughter would find their ass on the curb and no longer welcome in my house. I'd probably move my daughter and grandbaby home with me until he fucking groveled. Bella Santiago says not the arsehole. If he's so happy and confident that he did the right thing by getting the test, he ought to be happy to own that decision. You're in no way obliged to lie for him. Someone replies to that and saying this, if it's not a big deal, then it's not something to hide or be ashamed of, and it doesn't reflect badly on him. If it's something to hide from Opie's family, and she is being nasty by airing his shameful secret, then he should at least own that it's something he should be ashamed of to show such a lack of trust in his spouse, and agree behind her back to test with such insulting implications. Away Bass says, not the arsehole, if he had doubts or had been cheated on in the past, so wanted his own peace of mind or whatever, he could have easily taken care of the test himself without involving his family. and then to expect his family to be involved and know about the test but not yours. Why should his family get to be privy to that info but not your own? If he's happy with his decision to get the test, then he shouldn't be ashamed of your family knowing. There are a couple of double standards at work here. Next commenter says reputations are ruined by actions. He thought it was no big deal when it was his parents having ill feelings towards you, but now it's a big deal when you just told your family what he and his parents did. Either it's a big deal or it isn't. It can't be it's not a big deal when my family does said action, but is a big deal when you talk about said action. And one final comment from Fire or Water Kai, who says, not the arsehole. This dynamic here is very concerning. Him and his family can conspire and push the test on you, effectively saying that they think you're a cheater. However, he can scream at you for informing your family because you ruined his image. You see how this is messed up, right? Him and his family want to isolate and diminish you. But letting your family know what they're up to shows their true colors and reduces their control over you. I don't know if cheating has been a part of your relationship prior to this to give doubt, but no one should spring this on a person after the fact. This was a discussion meant for you two, not him and his family against you. And before anyone starts with the false paternity stories, remember that men have a way to confirm a woman cheating in this scenario, but women don't. He could be cheating her entire pregnancy, and there's no swab for that until she shows symptoms of an STI. Yes, false paternity is wrong, and people should be held accountable for it. However, this guy and his family are abusive fucks. Take those test results and go to court to set up child support payments. This whole scenario is toxic. So OP does update their post and says update. So 2 days ago, my partner's mother received the results of the paternity test, which of course showed my partner to be the father. He immediately called him super ecstatic and ready to take their place in the life of my daughter. My partner was also incredibly happy as well, since we would now be receiving their support due to the confirmation of my daughter being his. For reference, since he's studying and doesn't work, his family pays for his school and his half of the bills. I, on the other hand, work and pay my half of the bills myself. In other words, he's reliant on them financially, despite my insistence that we could survive off my salary. To his dismay though, with the confirmation of his paternity assured, I told him I wanted a break from him and his family's antics. This is not the first stunt they pulled that antagonizes me, and before this is flooded with questions as to why I didn't leave sooner. I was naive and thought our love for each other would beat their disapproval of our relationship. It wasn't, that is clear to me now. We ended up arguing over it, but against his wishes, I packed the bag for me and the baby anyways and drove to stay with my parents. He apologized at night and agreed that his part in the entire paternity stunt was messed up, that he agreed it had to be done even if he was certain she was his. Fast forward to yesterday. He texted me asking if I was willing to see him as he missed me and the baby. I agreed, assuming we could move past the whole ordeal. My family is still against him stepping foot in their house, so we ended up meeting at a park to walk around. He apologized again and told me that the test was done so his family could trust me and willingly be a part of our daughter's life. Thought I admitted that I had no intentions of letting them be around her till they at least apologized to me. This heated him up and he began screaming, claiming that as her father, I had no right to keep her from his family no matter what they did. I disagreed though, advising him that if they couldn't respect me, they had no reason to be a part of her life. The argument went nowhere, and I left with the baby back to my parents. He's since been texting and calling, saying he'd take me to court if I deprive his family access to her. I don't think my position on the matter is wrong, but to him, I'm an arsehole for it. Before any more comments are made about my position about his parents, there's more to it than just the test. I'd always stressed to my partner that I wanted his mother specifically at a distance from our child. This was due to how horrific she treated us both for the first year of our relationship prior to us moving out together. Secondly, the woman is bipolar and abused my partner both physically and mentally when he was growing up as a child, due to him having ADHD and being more hyper. This is what he told me at least. Knowing this, I'm obviously wary of his mother around my daughter. The paternity test was just a nail in the coffin for me. I never understand these situations when people request a paternity test from their partners and expect everything that it's no big deal and things will just move on normally, etc, etc. People always argue that paternity tests should be done at birth as like a standard procedure kind of thing, so you don't see the other types of stories that we see on this channel as well. But to request your partner to do a paternity test and then just think that everything's going to go back to normal afterwards. I always find it like wild. Maybe you don't on this one. Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. Now, just a huge thank you from the bottom of my heart for getting involved in today's stories. As always, your love, your support, your time always means the absolute world to me. So thank you so much for being involved. Truly, it's amazing. And I will see you in the next one. Take care and much love.
Wake up, get up, stretch my legs, eat some breakfast, milk and eggs, brush my teeth up, wash my face, throw my clothes on, start my day. Wake up, I can smell the smoke from the bacon. Let's go, see the sun shining from the windows. Okay, I know that today'll be a good day. Okay,